Hey Dave, here's my parlay. On the prelims, I pick every underdog to win.
Yes, indeed. Whoa. It's a UFC 312 preview. It's Ringside Report MMA. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Like looking at something over here. What's going on? What's happening?
Feel zoomed in.
Yeah, it was like, oh, way too zoomed in. I don't know why. It happens. Sometimes they just want to get a real close shot of me. I don't know why, Fred. You know?
What's shaking bacon? Am I on?
AJ, you're on, man. How are you?
Okay. What's up? Last thing I heard was Freddie saying, connection's not good.
Yeah, your connection was bad before, but you're good now. We're on. We're alive. We're all together. Feels like it's been a while since we've done this.
Yeah, we had a couple of, we had a break
last
week.
week. We had
Yeah,
technical issues last week. Right?
Major ones.
Yeah. Well, we're back.
We're good, man.
It's good we
Welcome
weren't
back,
on last
boys.
week because I think we would have all picked Adesanya to win. So it's good we didn't have to suffer that embarrassment along with Israel. That was nice.
Sad, eh? We're Adesanya, man.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We're going to preview UFC 312 on the show here tonight. Strickland making a lot of noise in Australia, getting ready to fight Dricus du Plessis on Saturday night for the middleweight championship in a rematch. Co-main event is a big one. It's a women's strawweight championship fight. Of course, the champion Zhang Weili defending against the challenger coming in as a favorite, Tatiana Suarez. A lot of hype behind her. We'll break that fight down, and then we'll tell you about the rest of the pay-per-view on Saturday. And we might be getting a pay-per-view here in our hometown. We are all in the Montreal area. AJ and I are in actual Montreal. Fred is in, Brossard.
It's a rumor.
Suburbs.
Yeah, the suburbs.
Yeah, there's a rumor,
kind of like
but there
the
are a lot of
Connecticut to New
fights like rumored. Are you seeing the fight card for this thing?
For the Montreal one?
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard anything. I thought it was just like a real rumor, and it was just like hype. And why would they come back to Montreal? There's no George.
Well, it's not official, but there are rumors about a ton of fights for this one. And the main event, I think you'll be very excited about. So I'll tell you about it later on, AJ. There are some rumors out there, and I'll give you some info on those rumors about a potential UFC 315 in May at the Bell Center in Montreal. The first UFC in Montreal since UFC, what was it with Demetrius Johnson? 186? I think it was.
A long time ago, man.
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Been a while, man.
So that'll be interesting, and we'll talk about that. But I want to start right off the bat with the preview. Let's get right into it. UFC 312 is this weekend. Sean Strickland challenging Dricus for the championship. He lost to him in a very close fight that some people thought Strickland won. I remember at the time, Fred, our buddy Allen, was really on that Strickland train, saying that Strickland had won. It was a split decision in the favor of Dricus du Plessis. I thought Dricus won. It was January of last year. They run it back a year later. And I think a lot has changed with both guys. I think both guys have shown some things and, shown a lot in their last fights and in the press conference and just in their general demeanor. Dricus really carries himself, he talks trash, but there's like a championship kind of aura with him at this point. And Strickland is just, he's going to tell you what's on his mind, and he just goes on and on and on. And it seems a little bit more unhinged this time around than it has been in fights past. Strickland's last fight was against Paulo Costa. It was a split decision win over Paulo Costa. Dricus' last fight was a submission victory over Israel Adesanya back in August. And it was very impressive. And it was one-sided. But what did it mean? Because after seeing Adesanya last week, and I think this, Adesanya's fight last weekend ties into this fight that we're seeing this weekend. Did Adesanya, his losing on Saturday, does that signal the end of his kind of championship run to run on top? I think it does for most people. You look at the age, you look at the fact that, he's 35 years old, he's been fighting for a long time, and he's now lost 3 fights in a row. So you wonder where he's at in his career, and it's like, okay, did Sean Strickland beat Israel Adesanya, the middleweight champion king, or did he beat Israel Adesanya when he was kind of done already? He'd been through the Pereira fights, and he was kind of tiptoeing his way out of the game because he hasn't won a fight, Adesanya, since losing to Sean Strickland. And again, Dricus beating Adesanya at the time was like, wow, really impressive. But then after Nasruddin Imavov just ran through him last weekend, finishing him by TKO in the second round, and Nasruddin Imavov is a good fighter. He's, even a very good fighter. But you look at Adesanya and you go, okay, well, what did those Strickland and Dricus fights really mean. Where was Adesanya in his career? Was that the best Adesanya? Like, how impressive are those victories? How much do you weigh those victories into this upcoming fight? The Adesanya loss, I don't know about you guys, but it shook me a little bit because it's like, whoa, I didn't realize this is where he was at. Maybe I'm not giving enough props to Imavov. Like, Imavov is legit as hell. Like, he showed, like, okay, he's 29 years old now. He's starting to come into his prime.
And I think you're being hard also on Adesanya. Okay, he lost. But I mean, the guy's still a legit top 5 guy in the division, I would say. Top 6, 7 at worst. So, you know, like, he's not the guy that dominated the middleweight no more. That's for sure not the question. And as far as Adesanya, I think you asked, like, is his days as a champion finished? Yeah, I think definitely his championship days are behind him. Doesn't mean he cannot have some good fights and still have a career in front of him. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna be a champion again. Now, for the Dricus aspect, I'm gonna bring it back more on Dricus, where I see this guy, like, every fight, he seems to be getting better and better. Like, for a while, we've liked Dricus. We're like, oh, this guy is a solid fighter. But he keeps getting better and better, and he takes his training very seriously. I think he's still, like, a hungry champion. So I like where Dricus is. Like, I'm going to go right away and say I'm picking Dricus to win this fight. And as far as Strickland, I think Strickland, like, my biggest issue with Strickland would be, like, whether it's his press conference or his fighting, it feels it's the same guy. You know, I don't think he's changed, or I don't want to use the word evolve. I'm sure he's getting better, but it's still the same type of fight that he's going to bring. I think Dricus, I had him winning that fight. I don't think it should have been a split decision. So I think Dricus is still going to have the answer. He moves better. Strickland needs to corner you, but Dricus moves well around his opponent. So I think Strickland is going to get frustrated, and Dricus is going to edge out another decision. That's how I'm going to go for that fight.
Listen, let me give you some stats, guys, because if you look at Israel and you look at his career from 2012 to 2020, the guy was 20-0. That's when he was at the top of the game. He was untouchable. He was like the god of MMA. He was the Anderson Silva of the time. But then when you look at his career from 2021 to 2025, he's 4-5. When you look at that record, that's not even an average fighter at this point. If I didn't know Israel Adesanya before 2020, I would think this guy's an average, not even a fighter that I'd want to see on a fight night card. Yeah. He's 4-5. His best years are behind him. And I really think there's more than just a physical aspect, because physically he's there. He's in shape. There's something wrong with the mental game, and you can see that. The day that he lost was the day that he lost himself. It wasn't the same Israel Adesanya, and you know what? At this point of the game, he's going to be like that gatekeeper. He'll be there. He'll be fighting. His name will be there, but how long is he going to go? I think the mental game is too heavy on this guy. And if anybody could pull it around, it could be somebody like Israel, but somebody's got to check in on him and try to get him back. They got to get back his spirit because he lost it. And going back over Dricus, I agree with you, Freddie.
I think maybe there was like a loss of motivation after beating Alex Pereira. Like, he beats, like, Alex Pereira was this boogeyman in his career. He couldn't beat him. Pereira beats Adesanya, and Adesanya's like, damn. And then they go in the rematch, and Adesanya knocks him out. And it's like, okay, he conquered him. He's champion again. Like, that was...
Yeah,
he was
kind of losing
performance
that fight
of his career. That was like the biggest win of his career. No one's knocking out Alex Pereira. But then after that, I feel like maybe there was this, a thought with him of like, what else is there to do? After having the biggest rival and the biggest win of your career, to then go and fight Sean Strickland was kind of like, I think, a letdown for him. And maybe he took the foot off the gas a little bit, and maybe... he's made so much money, and also he's 35 years old. And we all know that at 34, 35 years old, you start exiting that prime of being a top-level MMA fighter, no matter who you are. So, I think it's a number of factors with what's going on with Adesanya right now in his career. He has lost 4 of his last 5 now. He has lost 3 in a row, and you go, okay, well,
tough, man.
Where do we go from here?
Tough.
What do you do now? I don't know.
Video game
I was
reviews.
a little sad to see Adesanya go down the way he did because it's just like dominated in the first round, then put away in the second. I was like, wow, there wasn't much there.
It's like Anderson Silva's loss. The same thing. When you look at Anderson Silva, when we were watching that fight with Weidman, it was like, what just happened? What happened? And that's exactly what I saw. Israel.
That was different. That was different than that.
It's still the.
I've learned a long time ago not to get attached to these champions, man. My biggest heartbreak was when Jose Aldo went down to Conor McGregor, and I was like really a Jose Aldo fan, and I ain't gonna attach my emotions to any fighter anymore that way. I'm just like expecting them to fall at some point. The only guy that's never gonna fall is John Jones.
It's not really that.
True. Good point.
It's not really about Adesanya. It's more about the era that it kind of ends.
Yeah. Sad,
like
man.
His era it's over. The Adesanya time is, and it's like, okay, whenever one of these guys that has been around for so long and been dominant or on top for so long, when they start to fall, it's like, it's not going to be like that again. Those were
it's
good
like
times.
Usman as well. Think about that. Like at one point you had all of Nigeria behind these fighters because they were like champions at the same time. And you know what? You don't hear anymore. You don't hear Usman anymore.
Like I say, I expect all of them.
Conversation.
This is the fight game. I expect all of them to fall at some point, man. It's just a reality.
That's why GSP and Khabib, they did it pretty well. They never had that sad time where they're just getting beat up and losing fights because they're old and they can't do it anymore. They went out on top. I think that's the way to go if you can. Why wait around? I mean, some of them, they love the fight and all of that, but like Adesanya at this point, I don't know. What do you do with him? Do you fight again? Who do you fight?
He probably will.
Yeah, he probably will.
I mean, you said what, 35?
Yeah.
Still, that's not old, man.
But it's wear and tear on that weight division. It's hard, man. And you can
Dricus
see it. You can see
31.
Yep.
Like, let's say, okay, so let's say
33.
Let's say Strickland loses again to Dricus. He'll have lost twice to Dricus, which will put him pretty much out of the title picture. So who knows? You do a rematch against Strickland, Adesanya Strickland. That could make sense. Or like there's still fights to be made for Adesanya.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I just I don't see him going back to the top.
Oh, you won't.
I mean, anything's possible in life, right? You just never know. Like, that
I'll be honest,
horse could win, okay. You never know. Anything is possible, but it's very hard. It's hard at this point, and it's sad because Israel was a big name, probably the biggest name in the sport. Above Conor at one point. And that's the thing, and it's hard to see that, and it's hard to swallow. But like Fred says, everybody has their time. Only the smart ones have actually walked away. Like you said, George, Khabib, even Anderson Silva, he had an opportunity to walk away. And I'm telling you, the time that he fought Pat Cote, and he went into that third round, which was the longest round that he's ever went into. I'm telling you, Pat Cote was giving him a bit of trouble. You look at that fight again. If Pat didn't pop his knee, Anderson Silva was like, I was like a little concerned. I'm like, what are you doing? That was the beginning of the end of Anderson Silva. And I'm telling you,
okay, Fred,
there's a time when you step away. It's true, Fred. You can laugh, but it's true. Pat Cote brought him to the third.
So I got Dricus winning again. Strickland just seems unhinged on fight week. He's picking fights with people on Twitter. Like, he's beefing with Khamzat Chimaev. He's beefing with him. Like, constantly on Twitter. Khamzat is posting pictures of Strickland and his abusive father together and talking like there's big beef, man. Like, he's talking on his press conferences half about Dricus, half about Khamzat, and then some of the other times he's talking about the Australian government and all sorts of stuff. Like, he's just disjointed. He's all over
That's
the place.
what he does every time.
Yeah, it's more though. It seems more
Was the
unfocused than
Dricus
usual.
Strickland was in Toronto, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the fight that happened in Toronto. So
Yeah.
that's just what he does, and that's why I say I think Dricus is evolving as a fighter, whereas Strickland is the same guy, whether it's press conferences or fighting style. Like I think his fighting style also will become predictable for a guy like Dricus. Dricus will look at this tape and we'll see why he succeeded in the first fight, and he'll correct some things and implement what worked. And I expect I feel pretty confident. What are the odds, Dave? Because I feel pretty confident on the Dricus pick.
I will tell you.
Listen, man, you can't listen, Fred. You can't take out like Sean Strickland. If you look at him in his last 5 fights, he's 4-1. He fought Paulo Costa. Yeah, it was by split decision, but he outstruck him 182 to 158.
Big
he
time
is overrated.
Dricus right now
still,
-210. Sean Strickland +160. The underdog. I got
I
Dricus
agree.
winning this fight. I don't think it's gonna be close. I think it was close the last time. It's not gonna be as close this time. I think Dricus runs away with it. He might win a decision, but I think he might put Strickland away. I think it's a TKO for Dricus in the later rounds, maybe 3 or 4. I think Dricus puts Strickland away.
I'll go
Beats him up
decision.
and finishes him. Yeah. Either way, what is going on? Get me back. Why am I so
man,
zoomed
if
in?
you
What is this?
You look at Dricus and you look at his fights that he's beaten some okay, he beat Darren Till, but he got him by a submission. He beat Derek Brunson by KO TKO. Robert Whitaker, he got him by punches. Sean Strickland by split decision. Israel Adesanya by a submission, rear naked choke. That's the thing with Dricus. When you look at his career, he's an amazing stand-up guy. He was 30-0 in his kickboxing career. But what we don't see is we don't get to see a lot of his grappling and his submission capability. And the guy has it. He's very dangerous on the ground. I got to give it to Strickland. When you look at his victories, overall, he's got 14 decision wins, 11 knockouts, and he's got 4 submissions. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt, but he's if there's one thing that he could do is he can stop the attempts of a takedown. He generally has 100% takedown defense, but it's a hard one for me to swallow because I was on the edge on their first fight. I was like, man, Sean Strickland really, did he win it? I was on the edge, man. I thought he win it, that he wanted, and then I was like, nah, Dricus got the better end of him. But, every time people go to a second fight, the victor of the first is generally the guy who wins, the rematch. It's going to be hard for Sean Strickland. They're fighting in Australia. There's a lot of factors here. Climate change, time change. In one sense, maybe the crowd for Sean Strickland is going to be a lot better than the Toronto crowd. But,
people love him here.
For sure.
It's just a journalist. He gets cheered everywhere. It's the media that loves to hate him. It gives them clicks.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure, Freddie. You know what? I like
the crowd
Sean
are going to
Strickland.
cheer him.
I think so too. I'm just thinking he'll have. I don't know if all the time factor and all these other obstacles are going to be a big factor for Sean Strickland as opposed to Dricus. But one thing with Sean Strickland is he's going to push the pace. He's definitely going to come out to fight and scrap. It's not going to be a boring fight. Dricus is going to really have to win this fight. I think it's going to go to distance again. I don't think he's going to take out. Look, man, I was going back and forth all week, back and forth,
We're both
back and
Dricus.
forth, back and forth.
Dricus is going to win this fight. Fred thinks decision. I think, I'm not sure how it's going to end, man. I can't give you decision is possible, but I could also see him knocking him out or
49-46.
submitting him. I think he just wins, I think Dricus wins no matter what. AJ, who are you picking to win? Stop saying words and give me an answer.
Look, I'm going to go with the pressure machine. I'm going to go with Dricus on this.
Pressure machine.
He's a pressure machine, and so is Strickland, but Dricus is more of a dominating pressure machine. And his output is so consistent the way he fights. Has he gotten better? Absolutely. It's going to be a tough fight, man. We could turn around and be like Israel, where holy shit, I can't believe he lost. it could happen in this fight. It's Sean Strickland. There's a reason why he's there. But I think Dricus, this is his time. And, I think he's going to defend his belt. And,
Yeah.
it's going to be a great fight overall.
Dricus time, UFC 312. We're doing a
Dricus.
watch-along, too, by the way, 10 p.m. for Saturday night. We'll be there. We're doing the watch-along. We're going to watch fights. It'll be fun,
We're going to have a little
Fred. Don't
KFC
worry.
at the UFC.
Don't worry,
Freddie?
Fred. It'll be all right. You'll like it. You're going to have fun. The first 3 fights on this pay-per-view, okay, you'll watch 0 prelims, okay, because the prelim card is whack as hell. The first 3 fights of this pay-per-view will end by knockout, which is possible because we have a welterweight fight that starts, which maybe, but then we have a light heavyweight and a heavyweight fight. So we could see quick knockouts there, Fred, okay?
Yeah.
Then women's strawweight fight, Zhang Weili and Tatiana Suarez. It's all
That'll be a
right,
good
but Tatiana Suarez, a lot of hype, so it could be interesting, American wrestling, let's go. And then Dricus and Strickland. So boom, we're home free. It's easy. It'll be easy, Fred. Don't worry. Fred is not happy with this UFC 312 card, and I'm not happy
Freddie,
with it either. It's pretty.
Listen, it could be worse.
It's pretty trash. It's not great.
Isn't this fight is on Saturday our time, but it's technically Sunday, is it
It's
not?
1 a.m. Australia time or some craziness. I don't know.
Listen, it
In
could
the
be worse,
morning
man.
in Australia.
What time?
I don't know, like 5, 6 a.m. I think
Yeah,
in
ridiculous.
Australia it starts.
Cool.
Well, that's a big factor. By the time Dricus
I mean, I would,
fights, it's what,
I would
maybe
love
noon?
that, man. Give me a 6 a.m. card here in Montreal. That's what we need. Do it, Dana.
Breakfast and beatings.
He'll never do that because we're in the Eastern time zone. It would
Bacon
make
and
no sense.
eggs.
Bacon and eggs.
Eggs, UFC.
And scramble, man. Scramble to the mat eggs.
I miss those Japanese MMA days when we would wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning to watch a card that started at 3 in the morning and ended at 8.
But that's the
You know?
thing. Those were my younger days, and I didn't wake up. I just didn't sleep. And now these days, there's no way I could do that, man. There's no
Mhm.
way I could stay awake up till for a card that starts at 3, 4 a.m. Forget about it.
Yeah. If a card starts at 3 or 4 a.m. now, it's well, I'll catch it when I wake up. I'm
Well,
not-
I mean, I'll go to bed before 10 and wake up around 5:30 and catch the end of it.
Exactly.
So what time would it be in England and Ireland? Because that's a big, there's a big scene there to watch the fights. But what time would it be?
6 hours
I'm thinking
later,
of Wally. 6?
What?
pretty much 5, 6
what are you
hours.
talking about? What's your question, AJ? I'm lost in the time
mean-
zones.
So it's about 8 in the morning, Ireland time.
If the fight card here is at 3 a.m., yeah, it's at
Yeah.
8 a.m.
8,
England
9.
time.
Perfect. There's gonna be a
Like
lot.
that.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of viewers watching this live.
That's not what it is, man. That's not what it is, though.
No, it's
You-
10
you
p.m.
really-
Eastern for us. It's going to
Yeah,
be
you get-
3
you're
a.m.
lost.
start time for Ireland and England. What are you talking about, AJ? Are you confused?
What?
Yeah,
No,
AJ's
Freddie,
lost
Freddie
in the
was
time
saying.
zones. The hell
What
are you
time?
talking about? I was talking about the old days of Japanese MMA, and now you're like, oh, it starts
Forget
at 3 a.m.
Japanese
The
MMA.
fight
It's done,
card
man.
starts at 10 p.m. Eastern time Saturday night. That's when we're doing our watch along, like normal, like every UFC pay-per-view. Get it straight, brother.
Listen, man, I want to make sure that my
You
buddies in
listen.
Ireland and the UK are watching us live at breakfast time. I want Wally to have his coffee and eggs and, come into the watch along.
I'm saying it's 1:30 in the morning over there right now. And it would be 3 a.m. over there. Anyways. There's a guy in the prelims named Kobe Thickness.
What?
Pretty good. Kobe
Wrestling
Thickness.
name, man. That's a good
Kobe
wrestling name
Thickness,
there.
bro. And then Wang Kong is fighting Bruna Brazil. We got some
Wang
good
Kong.
names. Kobe
Sponsored
Thickness.
by Trojan.
Kobe Thickness is he's Alexander Volkanovski's boy, and Volk is going to be in his corner, and Kobe Thickness is fighting Alexander Topuria, who's Ilya Topuria's big brother, and Ilya Topuria is going to be in his brother's corner. So Volk and Topuria will be cornering opposite each other on the prelim card when Kobe Thickness battles Alexander Topuria. The Thickness is back, baby.
See, I like the research you did, Dave, because there's no way I could have brought all that information. I'm not even sure I would have connected the Topuria being the brother.
Big brother. Big bro. Alexander Topuria. Also a bantamweight.
Nice.
He's his older brother, but he's smaller. Right? Because Ilya fights at 145 and his big bro fights at 135.
Yeah, he's 5-1. He's a decent record.
Yeah, this is
Colby
his
is
UFC
7-0,
debut,
man.
I believe. Right?
Wow.
I mean, you're the big brother, Dave, and I think you're smaller than your brother.
That is correct.
It happens.
It does happen. It does happen.
True. Good point. Good point.
Colby Thickness 7-0.
7-0, man. He's
making
thick.
his UFC debut here.
Like, if he's not
Volk.
thick, I'll be disappointed. Like, I've never seen him. I'm not sure what he looks like.
He's a bantamweight.
Yeah, he can't be really thick.
He's like a skinny little Australian kid who's been training with the Volkanovski team since he was like 13.
Jesus.
Yeah. He's 25 now, making his UFC debut 7-0. 13. Which,
Jesus.
for him, that was, 12 years ago? So he was 13.
He's a veteran, man.
2013.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. Right.
This is the future, man.
Colby Thickness is the future, baby. Number one
Let's
ranked
remember that name.
bantamweight out of Australia. Okay, so I got Dricus. Fred's got Dricus. AJ's got Dricus. It's a clean sweep for Dricus. He's the favorite, minus 210. We're going to give you our parlays in a second. Tatiana Suarez taking on Zhang Weili, the reigning defending champion of the women's strawweight division.
Yeah, this is going to be changing of the guards, in my opinion.
That's what it feels like. Tatiana Suarez, a lot of hype, undefeated, 34 years old. It's taken her a little bit longer to get here. There's been some hurdles, but she is here. Zhang Weili has been dominant. Like, she crushed her last opponent. When she fought Yan Xiaonan, like, she smashed her. She smashed Carla Esparza. Like, she's on another level. She's 35 years old. I don't know. Weili, minus 105. Suarez, minus 125. Suarez coming in slight favorite in this fight. I'm stepping off the hype train. I don't think so. I haven't been terribly impressed with Tatiana Suarez in the UFC. She's gonna have to prove it a little bit in this fight. I'm not sure.
She's only 7-0 in the UFC, Dave. What more does she want to prove, man?
Well, just the performances. They've been all right. But
think about this. If it comes to the ground, the grappling game, great game. This is where exactly it's gonna go. If it goes down to the mat, you've got like a high-level wrestler, a really good submission like specialist, someone who's able to make Weili like suffer. Weili's grappling has gotten a lot better, no doubt about it, but not at the same level as a Tatiana. And even if they stand up, yeah, like they're saying, oh, Weili has good striking. She does have good striking, but it's not as accurate as Tatiana. Take a look at the stats, and that's where I'm coming at. I think it's the gas tank. Weili is there. She's got like phenomenal cardio. You're right. That's the only thing where it could be.
That's what I see. Like I see a fight probably going 5 rounds, and Zhang Weili is tough in those fights, man. She never stops. Her cardio is very good. She keeps pushing round after round, and I'm gonna pick her to win by decision. Like I think she'll outpace Suarez, and she might lose the first round or something, but at some point she'll just put on the pressure nonstop. A little bit maybe like Merab, like Merab never stops, just keeps pushing. That's what Zhang Weili does a little bit also. So I got Zhang Weili.
Yep, she's game. I think she's going to put on the pressure. I think a win by decision makes a lot of sense. Suarez hasn't fought since August 2023. 2023. And now she's fighting for the title.
La Rosa.
Huh?
That's weird.
Did she fight? Wasn't it against the De La Rosa that
Jessica
fight?
Andrade. She beat Jessica Andrade in August 2023.
She hasn't fought in over a year and a half.
February was the fight.
Yeah.
That's a little weird, like that.
Super weird.
Yeah. But Zhang Weili's been dominant right now. Like, other than Rose, nobody, like, she lost her first MMA fight in her career. But other than that, it's 2 losses to Rose, and she's been dominating people, like, before the Rose fight and after the Rose fight. Like, I'm very impressed with Weili. It's weird how Rose just seemed to have her number, but Zhang Weili, I'm going with her by decision. I'll go for another, like, 49-46. Like, she'll win 4 rounds at least and win this fight.
You know what, Freddie? If it, like, again, I'm going to go back to the accuracy. Like, everybody thinks that Weili has a better stand-up game. But when you look at her accuracy and you look at the stats, she's at 53%, where Tatiana is at 63%. And her takedown defense is at 50%, which is really bad. Because
against who?
If Tatiana, Tatiana is able to get those clean shots in and go for that takedown, I really think that the Weili will be submitted in this fight. I think it's going to happen. I think you're right about the cardio for 5 rounds. On a stand-up game, 5 rounds, yes, I can see her going the distance. But if it's going to be a complete wrestling and grappling match, which I believe it will be, she won't last 5 rounds. I think this is going to end before 5 rounds, and it's going to end by submission. And
Tatiana
Suarez is going to prove
pulls out of fights. She pulled out of her last fight. She pulled out of 2 fights in a row.
Yeah, she won't be pulling out of this one.
Injuries and whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure, it happens.
How does that work, too? How does that work? You don't fight since August 2023. UFC books you in 2 fights against top contenders. You pull out of both in 2024. Then you wind up in 2025 with a title shot. Talk about a division with no contenders.
Armin Tsakurian needs her agent.
Yeah, for real. Like, what is that?
He'll be fighting Chandler, and if Chandler loses, I heard that he's getting a title shot. Because, I mean, he keeps getting losses and getting big fights. So if he loses to Tsakurian, I think he's getting the title shot.
I think Tsarukian's fighting Charles Oliveira.
No, he's fighting Chandler.
When?
Tsakurian is going to face Chandler in April, I think.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought they were putting Oliveira against Tsarukian. Double check that for me. Huh. I don't know. Tatiana Suarez somehow
it's a rumor right now. Right now, that's what it was yesterday. They were saying it's rumored that Chandler versus Tsakurian is going to happen, and I think it's for April. But that's the rumor right now.
In Montreal, though, Fred. That might be May.
Then again, you see Michael Chiesa says it's fake news, so maybe it's not real.
I was seeing Oliveira Tsarukian for that May pay-per-view here.
That'd be good also. That'd be better.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that card in a minute. All right, so I got Zhang Weili, Fred going with Zhang Weili, and AJ going the other way with Tatiana Suarez. Thinks there's going to be a new champion there. But, man, the UFC really trying to pull a fast one with this. Like, yo, she hasn't fought since August 2023. She pulled out of 2 straight fights, and now she's getting a title shot. They're really neglecting to mention those facts when they hype this one. Like, what? How did that work for her?
Well, for sure. She must have recovered from those injuries, given the amount of time, which is great. So I'm telling you, she looks good.
Yeah. She's doing all right. I don't think she's going to win, though. I think Zhang Weili is going to defend those takedowns and beat her up and
at
win
50% takedown defense. I don't think so, Dave. Come on, let's be honest. Her takedown defense is like nothing to brag about. And if she goes to the ground, man, you're talking like Tatiana, an elite wrestler, man, and grappler. It's going to be a rough night for her. I'm telling you, it's going to be a submission night. 50% takedown defense, bud. And even her striking is not as good as Tatiana's. Like her striking accuracy, anyways. You could throw a lot of punches, but it's what hits target that counts. At 53%, the Tatiana's 63%. Already on the stand-up, it says a lot.
AJ, you know what I have to say about that? You know what I have to say about all of those facts, AJ?
Take them to the bank.
Meh. Okay. Give me a parlay for this stupid card, AJ.
It's not the
I
best
got
card,
mine,
man, for a paper.
Zhang
No.
Weili.
Yeah.
Zhang.
Team Fred.
Zhang Weili and Dricus.
Hell
Make it
yeah, that's a
simple.
good parlay. I think that's my parlay too.
I wanted to say it before you did.
Yeah, stop stealing my parlay. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna add a fight to the parlay and make it more fun. Okay.
Do it, Dave. Do it.
I think I'm gonna add one. Hold on. Let me show you Fred's parlay if I can. Let me do the thing where I get the parlay.
This is tough, man. This is tough.
It's not tough. Just do an easy one, AJ, and don't take too long because I got other shit I gotta tell you. All right, Dricus and Zhang Weili. 20 gets you 37. 20 gets you 57. You get your 20 back plus 37. That's good. That's more money than you started with, so that's nice. Plus 188 at bet99.com.
Mm-hmm.
How about it for you? That's Fred's parlay. What's my parlay? Wouldn't you like to know? It's that plus another thing. Wang Kong sounds like fun. Kobe Thickness seems interesting.
You like the Kong, eh?
Who doesn't like Donkey Kong? Wang Donkey Kong. You know, I don't even know. I was going to go with Kobe Thickness, but Cody Thickness is like a big underdog. I don't like it. I don't like the Thickness anymore. I just wanted to go with Thickness because I thought it was a funny name, but apparently Topuria's brother is going to beat him, according to the odds makers.
Training at like from 13? Yeah, it's a.
I really got nothing on this. This card sucks so much.
It does. It's not a great card, man.
I hate it. I'm gonna do the same parlay as Fred. So
what?
Yeah.
What kind of?
Shut up. Fred went first. He jumped in. He stole my thunder, and I'm just doing the same thing because who cares?
Dude, that's boring, man.
You're boring. Shut up.
Aw, man.
Suck it. I don't care. I'm trying to win.
That's what Thickness said.
I'm trying to win. See, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna bully me into picking another fight. And then that fight's going to lose, and my whole parlay will lose, because that's what you do. You pick a million fights, you have no idea, and you lose because you suck. I just want to win.
Hey, this year I'm the first one who won a 5-fight parlay. Let's not forget that, David. Simon.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, I'll remind you.
This year? You didn't win anything this year.
Yes, I did.
What?
I got a 5-fight parlay, man.
When?
I'll just have to bring it up. I just can't remember.
There's been like 3 cards this year. It's fucking February.
Yeah, it was the end. It was the end of the year. It was the end of the year.
Bullshit. You got nothing. What are you saying? Stop making
man,
shit up.
See.
Can you give me your parlay for this weekend already? I'm sick of this.
You want to win? Go with AJ. Listen, man. Okay. You know exactly what I said. I said Dricus. You know, I love. Listen, if Sean Strickland wins I'll be happy for him.
Don't give me a whole song and dance. Just give me your picks.
Tatiana Suarez, man. She's coming back. And she's going to take over the crown over Weili. And I like Weili, but not on this fight. And then I'm going to go with Teixeira on this. I'm going to go with Teixeira with the win.
Who?
You know, 7-0.
Oh, okay.
Allison.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taliesin Teixeira, man.
Tally ho.
Tally tab. And then I'm going to go with Bellato over Jimmy Crute.
Cool.
Jimmy, man. Jimmy is in not good shape. Jimmy doesn't look good.
Bellator.
Jimmy's lost like 3 of his last 4. But Rodolfo Bellato.
Is that it?
That's it, but I'm not going any further than that. I'm not going with the wine.
It's a 4-fight parlay, which is like not a lot for AJ. So there's AJ's parlay.
Johnny's
Dricus,
right. We need records.
Taliesin, Tatiana's, Rodolfo Bellator. Look at that. His name's Bellator. It's crazy.
Bellato.
Yeah, not in my world. In my world, his name is Rodolfo Bellator, okay? I don't care what his actual name is. There it is. Four fights. Payout. 20 gets you money. Look at all that money. $144. Cha-ching. I'm telling you, this is coming out, man.
Guys, Antoinette, I know you're listening. Put 20. You're going to win on this card.
Shout out to Antoinette, who's in the chat, member of the team. Leor in the chat, member of the team. Angelo in the chat, member of the team. Johnny North in the chat, big time jabroni.
Johnny,
catch me
Super
and Johnny
Bowl
tomorrow
Sunday.
night, 10 p.m. Eastern time for Wrestling Uncensored. We got a lot of pro wrestling business to talk about. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yankees jabronis. You gotta. There's fighting words out there, Dave. He's going
Shut
for
up,
your
John.
heart, man.
Shut up, John. Don't say Yankees jabronis. Don't say that to me. Rude.
The fight is on.
Here we go. I can't wait for
It's
baseball
on the
season.
streets.
Oh, my God. Well, I saw Johnny was sad about the Canadians losing. So, Canadians jabronis, John. Ooh, suck it. How about that?
Welcome.
And they lost a game. You told me that in the chat.
Welcome.
Sad. What was John's comment about Canadians losing? I saw that. I'm okay, Angelo. Tough loss last night. I'll be at the Sharks game February 27th. Johnny really likes hockey and the
Johnny's a
Montreal
celebrity.
Canadiens.
And Johnny,
And
I
he's
saw
like-
Johnny.
Sad about the loss. Yeah.
I was gonna say I saw Johnny say that the UFC card would go to Toronto, but come on, we all know like in April May Canadians aren't gonna be in the playoffs, so Montreal
That's
is
why.
free,
That's
man.
why.
They need an
Come
empty
to
building.
yeah, come on.
That's harsh, man. But you have a point there, Fred. You have a point. They probably looked at that and said, Canadians will be golfing.
So there are rumors of fights that would take place at UFC 315. Charles Oliveira, Armin Sarukian as a possibility.
That'll be nice.
The main event or co-main event maybe it might be the main event because I think they might throw Dustin Poirier and Paddy Pimblett on this
What?
card too. That's a
No
rumored
way.
fight. Yeah.
Damn, that'll be nice. That'll
So-
be, yeah.
So the card
Let's
is
get some
rumored
press
to be
passes.
because they're trying to kind of stack the undercard because the main event they're going to stick us with, I think, is going to be Valentina Shevchenko defending the flyweight title against Manon Fiorot. So they're like,
That'll be good.
well, Manon's from France, Montreal, close enough.
Exactly.
Let's do that. They speak French.
No.
I think that's
Yeah,
great.
dude.
I think that's great.
Yeah,
I
dude,
love it. And I
that's
told
the
you Manon
rumor,
Fiorot
Fred.
would be the
I
champion.
mean,
that's
if it's the
Wow.
co-main
Love
event, I'm okay, but not
Dude,
the
main event. Main event with Poirier and Patty.
What, they want to
as like
sell
a
like 6,000 tickets?
Poirier and Patty to try and sell tickets, and then Charles Oliveira and
they
Sarukian
wanna
to try
sell-
and beef up the pay-per-view. I think
They want to
that's
sell less than that Demetrius card.
I know it's gonna be
I
awful.
think it's a great card, man. What are you
I don't
talking
think
about?
it's-
This is fantastic.
I don't think people are buying tickets for that.
What? You've got like some heavy power names in this
But you
card.
know
Like I
what,
was
man?
gonna
Better than
say,
312.
UFC hasn't been here in so long. People might buy tickets just off the brand of like, hey, it's the UFC. How cool is
But-
that? A lot of people have
Yeah, but
never
Dave-
been, you know.
but actually,
Hey, let's
like
be serious.
I expect Jourdain and Barrio to be on the main
Yeah, for
card
sure.
Yeah.
because they'll be locals. So that's 2 fights right away. So you got to put a better main event than Valentina if you're gonna use some local guys on. I don't know.
Well, you got Manon Fiorot there, Fred. That's the thing,
come
man.
on.
That's a
Come on, AJ.
Listen, in Quebec.
Oh,
Listen, in Quebec.
AJ, man. Stop
I
with
am
your
telling you,
political
man.
correctness. Come on, man.
Yeah. It's
Vive
pretty
le
weak.
Québec! Yes, see.
And they
Come
might
on,
also throw
Freddie.
like they're gonna try and stack the card with names so that people will come. So they're gonna do. The rumors are,
Come on, Dave. Give me something good.
Jasmine Jazz Devicious, who's Canadian, to fight Rose
she's coming back.
Namajunas.
Oh, she's back. Okay.
There's like Arnold Allen and Aljamain
I mean, that could
Sterling
be on the
possibly
prelim.
fighting each other.
That could be on the prelim.
Well,
Yeah, that's good
apparently
so far.
maybe it'll be main card or prelim or something. But like it doesn't have a bona fide main event. That's the thing. They seem like
Come on, I
from the
wanted
rumors that
Mirab.
are out there, they're trying to cobble together a pay-per-view with a bunch of stars. Like you throw Rose in a fight, you throw Poirier on the card, you throw Charles Oliveira on the card, then you can kind of get away with you throw Aljamain Sterling on the card, you can kind of get away with a main event of Mano Fiorot and Valentina Shevchenko. I think that's maybe the idea.
Dave.
I don't
Dave,
know.
what about this? What about this, man? Like John Jones posted something yesterday that he said within 24 hours he's going to announce something huge.
Yeah, did you see what he announced? It's just a
No, I
sponsorship.
didn't.
It was a troll.
Oh, man, I thought he was going to say, listen, man, he's going to
Yeah,
fight.
well,
That would be
come on.
amazing if you get John
It's
Jones on a Montreal card. Why not?
That's not happening. I think the best we could hope for is maybe outside chance Shavkat Bilal, which would be sick.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
For the welterweight title, but I don't think that's happening. It's all
Merab.
a rumor at this point. UFC hasn't announced anything. It's just rumors going around about a potential UFC pay-per-view in Montreal in May, UFC 315, and there's some fights that are going around, but like it's all kind of rumors, right? Nothing is official. It would be cool if it was Shavkat and Bilal. If they did that, it would be like, oh, okay. We got something here.
Listen, man, I'm okay with Manon Fiorot, man.
I know you are, but it's not enough for the average fan, AJ.
Merab
Nobody knows who
O'Malley,
she
so I
is.
could go to bed early.
Yeah. Unless we're there.
We
Yeah,
got to
exactly.
be there, guys. Ringside has to be there. I want to talk to Patty. I want to do an interview with Patty Pimblett. Let's get it on, Dave. Me and Johnny, we did already George. We're going to go do Patty Pimblett. Me and Johnny, man. Interview. I'm going to get it set. I'm going to get PR Mark on the horn.
There's rumors
Let's
of
get it done.
Merab versus Peter Yan
Huh?
possibly is the main event.
What? That'd be good.
That's good.
There's rumors of Bilal and Shavkat as the main event. I mean, there's a lot of rumors going around. Nothing is official for
I mean,
that UFC.
Shavkat would be cooler. I would admit Bilal Shavkat would be better. But Merab would
Yeah.
be great also, man.
Yeah,
Any of those two. And put Valentina as a co-main event.
yeah.
Put both Canadian guys there, Jourdain and Barrio, in some decent fights. Let's
Yep.
find some good opponents for them. And Amen fights on the prelims. And,
Yep.
you fill up the card, man.
I think they could do something if they could get like a legit main event, like throw Merab in there, throw Bilal in there. I think you could do some title fights, and they might have a pay-per-view. Whether or not it's in Montreal is still kind of up in the air. Like it's not, nothing is official.
Yeah, because I was
Nothing is
surprised when
official.
they announced it, man. But hey, great. Come on,
Me
Dana.
too.
Listen, but
Do it.
I was
But
surprised
listen,
when those
you know, you
rumors
can't-
came out. But
well,
the
you
UFC,
can't be that harsh.
like we still don't know where UFC 315 is going to be. Like we know where UFC 313 is going to be. It's going to be in Las Vegas. We know where UFC 314 is going to be. It's going to be in Miami. Do we know where UFC 316 is going to be? We don't. It better be in Austin, Texas, brother. You know what I mean? If they don't do UFC 316 in Austin, Texas, they are slipping. Especially with the TKO crossover, you get Stone Cold Steve Austin there. UFC 316 in Austin, Texas. What? I mean, come on, man.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That'd be so good. They got to do that. They can't miss with that. Please.
What?
It's coming up, man. UFC 316. That'll be like in June. Come on. What?
That would be a great idea, Dave. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Hope they're listening.
It would be a great idea. I got a lot of great
Yep.
ideas. Here's a bad idea
Mm.
that seems like it's going to happen. I don't know if you guys have
What,
seen
what?
this. Jake Paul is going to fight Canelo Alvarez in a boxing match.
Canelo?
Real?
Canelo.
Hey, well,
Like it's a done deal, apparently.
well, Jake
Eddie
Paul's so
Hearn
much
is saying
bigger
it's
than
a done deal.
Canelo.
It's done. He's going from Mike Tyson to Canelo.
Yeah. I mean, Canelo, I love Canelo, one of my
Right.
favorite boxers of all time, but man, not even the same weight. I mean, Jake Paul's a big guy. How can it be good
Come
for
on, man.
Canelo?
Canelo's going to kill him, man.
Man, that's what he said about Mike Tyson, and look what happened.
Oh, come on, man.
No, that's what you said about Mike Tyson, bro. I didn't say that about Mike Tyson. I said Jake Paul. I said exactly what Jake Paul was going to do to Mike Tyson, and then he did it. And I'm going to tell you, Canelo is going to completely outbox Jake Paul and embarrass him.
I would
You're
hope
way
so,
off
but
on the
I'm
Jake
telling
Paul.
you.
AJ, you don't understand how to call his fights. Like when he knocked out
talking about? I
Tyron
was the
Woodley,
first
you were
one.
shocked.
Nah,
Like you
nah,
never
nah.
know how to predict his fights. It's weird. You got to stay away from his fights.
Listen,
bro.
don't be an expert there, Dave. You were the one that
I
was.
am.
I was the first guy talking that Jake
You
Paul would
always pick
carry
his
on the
fights
game
wrong.
of that sport.
I always
No, I
pick them
don't.
right
Listen,
every time.
listen.
You're
There's a
always wrong.
difference
I'm
with-
always
listen.
right on Jake Paul.
You were right, like maybe a couple of times on the
Every
Jake Paul
time,
thing.
dude.
But
I'm telling you. Go back.
I always go with. Listen, I always go with Jake Paul. The only time I didn't go with Jake Paul was I went with Jake Paul the whole time, except for the Tyson
not
one.
against Woodley.
Yes,
the second
sir.
time, I think you picked Jake Paul.
No, I went with Jake
Or
Paul.
no,
I
Woodley
said
the first
fucking-
time you picked Woodley. You picked Woodley because I remember
No,
you were
no,
pissed.
No, I went
You
with
were
Jake
pissed.
Paul, man.
No, you
I
were
was
so
pissed
mad.
that he got knocked. I was mad.
No.
You
were
can't
mad
fight
when
like a
Woodley-
ham.
No. You can't rewrite history, bro. Not here. We have the audio. We have the video. It's in the
Yeah, well, then go
You
back
can't
to who
pretend.
called Jake Paul first. It was me above everybody else, including Rogan, including everybody. I was
You
the
also
first one to
said Mike
call
Tyson
Jake
was
Paul.
going to knock him out
Hey.
in like the first
Well,
round.
he-
right?
They got
Technically, so did
video
most
and
of the
audio
world.
of JFK dying, and we still don't know what happened there. So
Well,
I don't
some
trust
people think
Jake
video
Paul
and
got him.
audio.
There's
Freddie,
more
Jake Paul, man.
conclusive. Yeah, but
Can't wait to
AJ's
see it.
wrong again. And
Listen,
I
I
think
think Jake
Canelo will
Paul-
beat Jake Paul. It seems like a fight that's going to happen, and apparently people are going to watch it because here we go. We have two idiots online already arguing about who's going to win. So obviously it's a thing that people.
But you know
will
what?
watch.
That's the only way Jake Paul can save face after his debacle against Tyson. Like that was such a bad spectacle. People don't want to see him fight some jabroni. So hey, you might as well go for the biggest name you could get, man, and
Yeah.
get knocked out.
And go for it. Well, do you
Make
think
money.
Canelo is a bigger name than Tyson? I don't think so. I mean, Canelo is one of the greatest
He's not a
boxers,
bigger name
but
than
he's not a bigger
Tyson,
name
but
than
I mean,
Tyson.
like as active boxers right now, Canelo is probably one of the top 2 or 3 names, if not the biggest draw. Like who's the bigger draw? Maybe Fury and the heavyweights. I mean, Canelo is one of the hugest draws in
Biggest.
boxing.
Yeah, it's going to be a big money
100%.
fight. People
Listen,
will pay
I'm a
to see
Canelo
Canelo
fan all the
fight
way, but-
anybody. I don't think it matters.
It does, man. Jake Paul is much bigger, man. I think it's going to be a factor. We've seen that a couple of times.
Okay, and
Except
it's a
for
stupid
Fury.
fight. It's
Fury,
going to
yeah.
happen at some point. Apparently, they'll announce it and announce a date, and we'll talk about it more as it, approaches. But it looks like it's happening. Which
We
is
got to do a
kinda
watch along
nuts.
for that.
Maybe. I don't know.
For sure.
Finally, there's a football game on the weekend. It's like the big football game, and I think I'm
Chiefs and the refs versus the Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna pick the Chiefs and the refs. I think that it's totally fixed. Football is fake, and the Chiefs are obviously gonna win because they always win, and it's fake.
Patrick Mahomes.
Well, you know who I'm going for, right? You know who I'm going for.
No.
I'm not sure if Johnny knows why.
I'm not really sure
You should know.
who's the other team.
I sent you a picture of one of my relatives involved in the game, man. Don't you remember?
Yeah,
one
but
of the coaches?
I forget
No.
what team.
I don't remember.
I kind of remember, but
man.
I forget what team,
Listen,
man.
the safety coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, Donald DeLezio.
Is he
There
actually
you go.
related
You know
to
who
you?
I'm going for. Of course, man. He's a DeLezio, man. His father's on my Facebook page too,
The Delezio, of course.
I don't know.
with
about
one
that.
S, man.
I doubt it.
Delicious DeLezio, man. Kansas City Chiefs all the way, man.
Do you like? I bet like every time you see a Delezio on Facebook, you add him as a friend.
Listen, we're not
Like
that
that's
many,
what AJ
man.
does.
He
They
for
come
sure
from a
does.
village in Italy. You think
He
it's
for sure
like
does.
That's
Manhattan or something,
crazy,
man?
bro.
They come from the mountain in this
sure
region
does.
of Italy.
Oh my!
I'm sure there was some inbreeding too back in the days. All I'm trying to say is there's not that many, man.
I mean,
That would
considering
explain.
how you turned out. Yeah.
Anyways, Donald DeLezio, man, safety coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is going to be the first time ever. 3 wins, man. Let's go, Chiefs. Come on, boys.
I'm there to see Kendrick. I think that'll be cool. Kendrick is cool.
Who's that?
Kendrick Lamar, he's doing the halftime show. Remember I showed you music to prepare you so you
yeah,
weren't
yeah,
angry
yeah.
when you saw it?
Yeah.
Because
It
I
was
knew
actually
you were going to
good.
be
I liked
mad,
it.
but now
Yeah.
you kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah, it
him,
was
so you
good.
might be happy when you see him.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah.
know
remember the act.
when you see hip-hop, on TV, you get really old and angry. And I just wanted
Now,
to
John-
prepare you ahead of time for Kendrick's excellent
No,
performance.
you did. You did give me some like. I was actually impressed with that
There you go.
That
So
selection
you
of
might
music.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Johnny is
That makes me a
asking
little
for more
happier.
trolling. Johnny's asking for more trolling, saying that he's a Cowboys fan, man. They haven't
Johnny
been
is a
haven't done
Cowboys fan.
anything for 30 years, man. 30 years, Johnny.
Dallas cheerleaders, man. Number one.
Yeah. I expect to see a lot of reviews of Kendrick from a lot of people who don't know anything about Kendrick, and they'll be awful. I
Actually-
expect to see a lot of awful reviews from dumb people that have no business talking about Kendrick's music come Monday
Well,
morning. That'll happen.
Listen, Johnny,
Yeah,
I'll give a review.
I'll say it sucked.
Yeah, exactly. You're saying it sucked ahead of time. Like, you're not even giving it a chance. You're like, yeah, it sucked. Fred gets
Listen,
real
Dave,
angry about
I'll
rap
give-
these
I'll give
days,
a
too.
review,
You
man.
used to be cool, Fred.
I'll
I
give
don't
a
know what
review.
happened. I don't know what happened, Fred. You used to like things like that, and now you're like, no. He's rejected it all.
He's getting old, man.
Yeah,
It's done.
something's happened.
He
It's
wants to
okay.
go to bed early. Doesn't give a fuck about UFC coming to Montreal. It's done, man.
No, he cares about
Not
UFC
true.
coming to Montreal.
I'm happy about the UFC.
See?
Now with Manan Fieroz, see?
Well, not as the main
Yeah.
event. No one would be happy about that.
I
It's
am.
not a good main event.
Why don't you show that
Um,
picture of Mackenzie so, you know?
Thank you, Antoinette, for
That-
gifting the membership. Appreciate you.
Antoinette.
Welcome, Ace of Spade.
Ace of Spades. I like that.
Yeah, people want to know if AJ's having a Super Bowl party. AJ, are you having a Super Bowl party?
Listen, man, I got good news and bad
He's
news.
not having
The
a
good
Super
news-
Bowl party.
Yeah, there's a bit complicated. I'm gonna get. I'll send the boys out a text later. We're still gonna go watch the football game. I'll give you the details, but yeah, it's not like my other years. I'm a little like I don't have much time to do certain things. Long story,
Yeah.
but the Johnny Angelo, I'm gonna get you some info.
I'm going to go to a Super Bowl party, I think.
I went to the grocery
going?
store earlier.
Bro-
Grocery store earlier today, and
Yeah.
this lady had like 10 boxes of chicken wings, and I didn't realize. I'm like, why is she fucking buying all? And then all of a sudden I said, oh yeah, there's a football game this week.
Well, you should
I'm
have seen
going
the.
to a-
Yeah,
I'm going to a Super Bowl
Where you
party,
going?
have to see my buddies, and have to eat some chicken wings that my buddy makes. He makes these like chicken wings that are just
first of all, hold on a sec there, Dave Simon.
ridiculous, man. The
I
rosy
invited
face
you
chicken
guys-
wings. Rosy
is it
face,
rosy
I'm
face?
coming, baby.
Oh, he's
and I'm
get-
bringing my appetite. I can't wait for those
Rosie.
chicken wings. They're so
Oh,
good.
say hi to Rosie for me, man.
Rosy
That guy
face.
is like the best.
The
Rosie,
face.
he's still teaching. Listen,
Of course.
listen, I don't understand. Last year I threw a Super Bowl party, and the Ringside crew came, except for two guys. Dave Simon.
The Ringside crew is me, you, and
And
Fred.
Fred Garcia.
If except for two guys, it's just you. That's not the crew. That's just you.
Johnny
that
was
means
there.
like
We
everywhere
had
you
Angelo
go, the
that showed
Ringside
up.
crew comes, except for two guys.
Look, put an
Well, actually,
iPad and I'll be there digitally. Like,
Virtual.
virtual Fred will be there by
Yeah.
Hey,
streaming.
tell Rosie if he has room for like 4 more guys.
Nah,
I'll come to Rosie's place. Come
That's
on, Rosie,
crazy.
you can do it.
it's,
That guy's a
yeah.
riot, man. Unbelievable.
All right.
Yeah, he's gonna be fun. All right, we will see you all tomorrow night. Well, I will for Wrestling Uncensored, and then we'll be back Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern for UFC 312, the watch along here
Go Chiefs!
on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word. Please share this episode on whichever social media platform you use. Add a comment below and consider reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next